Former President Donald Trump finds himself entangled in a web of legal battles. These cases cast a shadow over his political future. One case in particular has been making headlines, the New York hush money case. This case stems from allegations that Trump, during his 2016 presidential campaign, directed his then lawyer, Michael Cohen, to pay adult film star Stormy Daniels $130,000 in hush money. The alleged goal? To prevent Daniels from going public with claims of an affair with Trump. Trump has denied the affair. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office, then led by Cyrus Vance Jr., investigated the matter. This led to a grand jury indictment of Trump in March 2023. This marked the first time in U.S. history that a former president faced criminal charges. The indictment includes 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. These charges relate to how the payment to Daniels was recorded in Trump's company's books. The case has been a political lightning rod from the start. Trump and his supporters have repeatedly denounced the charges. They argue the case is politically motivated. They see it as an attempt to derail Trump's 2024 presidential bid. The case has also raised complex legal questions about campaign finance law. This is because the hush money payment could be considered an illegal campaign contribution. The case is currently before Judge Juan Merchant in New York State Court. A trial date has been set for March 2024. However, Trump's legal team has been trying to move the case to federal court. They hope a change of venue might offer Trump a more favorable legal playing field. Trump's lawyers are seeking to move the hush money case from the bustling courts of Manhattan to the federal court system. This strategic maneuver is based on the argument that the alleged crimes are connected to Trump's time as President of the United States. The defense team contends that the payments to Stormy Daniels were not simply personal matters. They argue they were part of a broader effort to protect Trump's presidency from potentially damaging allegations. At the heart of their argument is the question of jurisdiction. Federal courts have limited jurisdiction. They can only hear cases involving federal law or disputes between citizens of different states. Trump's lawyers claim that, because the alleged crimes occurred while Trump was president, they fall under the purview of federal law. Specifically, they point to a provision in the U.S. Constitution. This provision states that federal courts have jurisdiction over all cases arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States, and treaties made, or which shall be made, under their authority. They argue that the payments to Daniels, even if made with campaign funds, were connected to Trump's official duties as president. This argument, however, faces an uphill battle. Legal experts are divided on whether a connection to Trump's presidency is enough to establish federal jurisdiction. Some argue that the alleged crimes are more appropriately handled in state court. This is because they involve violations of New York state law. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who succeeded Cyrus Vance Jr., is leading the prosecution's efforts to keep the case in state court. Bragg's team argues that Trump's attempt to move the case is a delay tactic. They contend that the former president is simply trying to avoid facing justice in New York. The prosecution maintains that the charges against Trump are rooted in violations of New York state law. These laws are specifically designed to protect the integrity of elections. The prosecution argues that the case hinges on allegations that Trump falsified business records. This is to conceal the true nature of the payments made to Stormy Daniels. They assert that these alleged actions constitute crimes under New York law. These laws are not superseded by federal law simply because Trump was president at the time. Furthermore, the prosecution points out that Trump's alleged actions primarily affected the state of New York. They emphasize that any potential impact on the presidential election was indirect. The primary harm, they argue, was to the integrity of New York's electoral process. The battle over jurisdiction isn't just about legal technicalities, it's about the very principles of accountability and the rule of law. If Trump succeeds in moving the case to federal court, it could set a dangerous precedent. It could shield future presidents from being held accountable for crimes committed under state law. The stakes are incredibly high for Trump. If the case remains in state court and he is convicted on all charges, he could face a significant prison sentence. This legal jeopardy adds to the pressure and uncertainty surrounding his political future. The hush money case is just one of several legal battles Trump is currently facing. Beyond the legal ramifications, a trial in New York could be politically damaging for Trump. It would keep the allegations of infidelity and campaign finance violations in the public eye. This could potentially alienate some voters, especially moderate Republicans and independents. The trial could also further inflame partisan tensions in a deeply divided country. The prosecution's case is not without its challenges. They will need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Trump intended to commit a crime when he allegedly directed the hush money payments. This could be difficult, given that Trump's lawyers are likely to argue that he was acting on the advice of his counsel at the time, Michael Cohen. The outcome of this jurisdictional battle could have far-reaching implications. It could impact not only Trump's legal fate, but also the balance of power between state and federal authorities in prosecuting crimes involving federal officials.